Church, I love praising the Lord with this family in this house today. I'm so excited for what we're going to do. Let me just give you some ground rules real quick for what we're about to do. I'd encourage you, if you can, stay standing, stay standing. The energy, it's just great. If you need to sit, I understand. Just don't. Okay, cool. We're going to be sharing some testimonies. I got a passage here, Mark chapter 5, verse 18 is where I'm starting. Jesus just goes and he heals a man that was demon possessed, and it reads like this. As Jesus was getting into the boat, the man who had been demon possessed begged to go with him. Jesus did not let him, but said, go home to your own people and tell them how much the Lord has done for you and how he has been merciful, has had mercy on you. So the man went away and began to tell in the Decapolis how much Jesus had done for him, and all the people were amazed. Church, these people next to me are people that have had a significant life change. Something has happened in their life. God has moved, and they're here to share with their family, their house, what the Lord has done. So I'll encourage you, as they're giving testimony, when they come to the end, let's give praise to God for what he's done. Let's give praise for what's happening in people's lives. We'll start off. Our first testimony that we have actually comes from, you guys have probably heard of our First 30 booklet. It's how we're doing discipleship here. So our first testimony is a little bit about that.
There you go. I don't have to hold it. My name is Pam Schilling, and I've been a Christian for about 48 years or so. And I've had the privilege to join the mentor-mentee program. And it's the First 30. And I got chosen by a mentee, and she contacted me, and I said, okay, yeah, I'll be your mentor. And so we started in the First 30 book together. And I thought, she can read it, I can read it. We'll talk about it our first time. First time we got together, she'd read 1, I'd read 6. And I'm like, okay, well. After that, I decided, well, I'll just every morning read it, and then I'll text her what Holy Spirit is telling me. So I did that, and she would respond, wow, great insight. Oh, neat, thanks for sharing. And she would start reading in the evenings. I read in the daytime. And then this last Sunday, she came to my house. We roasted hot dogs outside. We went for a walk. I have a new friend, and I'm growing in the Lord while she's growing in the Lord. And it's so cool.
I love it. I'm going to hustle through these. The Lord is doing something in Celebration Youth. I mean, it's just amazing to see what God's doing in that ministry. We got the next couple are from Celebration Youth.
I'm Morgan Herbeck, and I'm a senior at New Prague High School. There's so much I could share on how God has transformed my life, but if I'm being honest, we'd be here all day. Growing up, I've always believed in God, but the only time I would interact with the church would be on holidays. I never prayed, I never had my own Bible, and I never attended church on Sunday mornings. I knew of a God, but I never knew God. God came into my life when I thought I couldn't do it anymore. I was completely consumed in depression and anxiety. I had suicidal thoughts, and I was truly at the point where I didn't want to be on this earth anymore. I had lost all hope and had stopped doing the things I loved. Then, on May 10th, my life was forever changed. Nellie Dawson had asked if I wanted to come to Celebration Youth. Not knowing what exactly I was in for, I said yes. Little did I know that night would change my life. I remember during worship, Kirsten Orlando pulled me out into the hallway and had asked where I was in my faith, and I had told her I was just at the beginning. She ended up praying over me, and that will forever be something I remember. Through my time at Celebration, I have tremendously grown in my faith. All these suicidal thoughts that were taking over me were gone. All this depression I was being consumed of, it was gone. I began to attend Celebration on a weekly basis. Not only has Celebration offered me great opportunity to encounter the Lord through worship, summer camp, and NYC, but I've also met some incredible people that I will forever thank God for. So if there's one thing that you gain from my testimony, let it be this. God saw my pain and suffering, and in love, he reached down and comforted me when I needed it most. Jesus saved me when I thought I couldn't be saved. He brought back a spark inside of me that I thought was gone forever. No matter where you are, even if you are lost in the dark place, Jesus is there. He never gave up on me, and he will never give up on you.
What's your name?
I'm Brewer Wolf, and I'm a sophomore at Faribault High School. I grew up in a Christian home, going to a Lutheran church. I was baptized as a baby and went to that church until I was confirmed in 8th grade. I had always believed in God, but lacked that relationship with Jesus. I didn't even know you could have one with him. I was full of fear, I was full of anxiety, and I was filled with lies. My identity came from sports and thinking that's all there was for me. I had to be a perfectionist with everything I did, including school. I was embarrassed by the outcome of failure and not living up to being good enough. I have 2 older sisters, and as I watch them grow their relationship with Christ, I watch them not care what others think about them, and seeing them so fulfilled, I knew I wanted to change. So for the next 8 months, I really wanted to grow in my faith. I started opening my Bible and making it to church on Sundays when it didn't interfere with sports, but it still wasn't enough. I was scared to go to youth because I was so caught up in what others would think about me and that I didn't know enough. Then Barron, who I didn't know at the time, but now is one of my best friends, invited me to Celebration Youth in July. The first time I came, I loved it, and so I came again. That next time, I accepted my life to Christ and have been living for him ever since. That was the best decision I've ever made. All the fear, all the anxiety, and all the lies are gone. I can walk confidently knowing that I built that relationship with Jesus and found my identity in him. And now today, I'm going to be taking one step further in my faith and being baptized.
So before we jump into this, so our next couple are actually from Celebration Espanol. Anybody from Espanol here in the house? Come on, let me hear it from you. All right, cool.
Hola, mi nombre es Valentina, soy de Venezuela.
Hello, my name is Valentina and I'm from Venezuela.
Llegué aquí a los Estados Unidos hace 1 año y 9 meses.
I arrived here to the United States about a year and 9 months ago.
Venía de una religión católica.
I was coming from the Catholic religion.
Sí conocía de Dios, pero no tenía una relación personal con Él.
I knew about God, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Him.
Pero Dios es pero tan bueno,
But God is so and so good
que me ha puesto en el camino personas maravillosas
that He brought into my path beautiful people
que me han mostrado el camino y la verdad.
that have guided me to the way and the truth.
Y me ha transformado cada día de mi vida al despertar.
And He has transformed me every single day of my life when I wake up.
Y con eso mostrándome el amor
And He has been showing me love
y cómo puedo ser su hija.
and how I can be His child.
Thank you.
I hate holding this mic. I just want to jump up and down. All right, I don't know about. All right, here we go. Let's keep going.
Hi everybody! My name is Milixi and I'm from Venezuela. I lived with my family in Portugal for the past 5 years. In January of this year, we legally came to the United States through the humanitarian parole. In Chicago's airports, we were stopped in immigration. After hours of interrogation, they told us that we could be deported. Because of the stress, my oldest daughter fainted, so they had to call an ambulance. Thanks God, nothing had happened. Due to being deported back to Portugal, my family was devastated, including my mother, who I had not seen for so long. But I never lost hope. After spending 3 days confined in immigration, I used a few hours before boarding the plane back to Portugal. I went to the bathroom with my two daughters. We kneeled and raised our hand in prayer. Soon after that, an officer came to tell us that they were reviewing our case. Immediately, my husband and son went to pray in the same way. Not even 15 minutes passed when the officer came back to tell us that we could not be deported. Oh my God. God is a God of miracles and prayer words. So now we live happily here in Minnesota.
I'm Pastor Ash, and I co-lead the Prayer Counseling and Deliverance Ministry alongside my husband, Pastor Andy. And I've had deliverances ever since I was 11 years old. But recently, 2 months ago, I began to feel like a spiritual blockage. You know, when you can't go any deeper. And it was just too much for me. And I said, I look at my husband and I said, you know, you're the head of this ministry. You will pray for me right now. And I just drop all my pride. And I drop everything that I thought I was. No matter the title, no matter anything. And I just asked for Jesus, please set me free. I went through this deliverance and God did deliver me from a stronghold of fear, from fear of God using me in the gifting He has given me, and a curse, a generational curse of witchcraft. God can set us free. You have nothing to lose, but you have everything to win when you search for Him and for His deliverance. So don't be afraid and don't drop the pride. We don't need that pride. We just need Him.
I am Leo Pexa, a senior at New Prague High School. I grew up Catholic, but never truly had a relationship with God. I grew up with a lot of issues that led to a lot of seasons of darkness. One of my worst seasons was when I found out I needed to get double knee surgery. This is one of the lowest points of my life. This double knee surgery made it hard for me as I wanted to join the National Guard. Luckily, I would be able to be medically cleared. As I was in this time trying to find myself in a place in society, I decided to come to Celebration Youth. I had a feeling this was it. I found my place. Everyone was so accepting and loving towards me. Everyone here embraces God. The culture and passion for God was so contagious. That night, I gave my life to Christ and finally found the hope and love I longed for so long. Recently, I heard a call from God to opt out of the National Guard and call to a greater purpose. God told me to join the Marines. I always have had a hard time allowing people to lay down their life for me while I am free. Christ laid down His life for me, so now I have a newfound confidence in my calling to lay down my life like Christ for others by fighting for freedom in the military.
Hi, I'm Taylor Lambert, and I'm from New Prague High School, and I'm a junior. Just since I only have around a minute, I'm gonna jump into this whole thing really fast, but I always believed in God since I was a kid, and I knew He existed, but I didn't know Him like I do now. This summer, I went through a really hard situation, and I was to the point where I didn't want to be here anymore, and I truly didn't know what to do, and I wanted it all to go away. My only resolution at the time was to let suicidal thoughts go through my head, and I put notes in my phone to my family and friends saying I'm sorry and thought that I was gonna end it all in that moment. And then one day my boyfriend Dylan asked me to come to youth, and he said it made him feel very happy and more connected to God, which is exactly what I needed in that moment. That night at youth, it changed my entire life. I was bawling my eyes out as we worshiped Him, and I finally had hope, and I could see the light at the end of the tunnel. God brought me out of that dark place and saved me. Jesus gave me the best group of friends as well, who are Christ-driven people, and I'm so forever grateful for Brooklyn, Autumn, Dylan, Will, and Danny. If I hadn't said yes to coming to youth that Wednesday night, I truly don't think I'd be standing here right now. Jesus saved me. He can save you too. Without Him, I wouldn't be here, and neither would we.